Hey there, it's Blue here with another yoga snack. Today we have 15 minutes of therapy for the neck and eyes. So let's get started. Okay, so we're going to start off in a nice upright seated position today. We're going to also elevate ourselves up on a block, and I'm going to put a blanket over that just to get extra comfortable. So one block is probably fine, and you can even be doing this sitting in a chair, or if you're at an office desk or something like this, this is perfect. So we'll start off cross-legged with the knees below the hips if possible. If you were sitting at a desk chair, you would just have the knees level. Now what we want to do is, of course, find this nice upright posture by lifting through the chest, which helps tip the pelvis forward a little bit and lengthen the spine. So we sort of have this nice upright posture, we're not falling into our pelvis. So once you've found that stability and that length in the spine, we're going to just let the shoulders fall away from the mat a little bit, or fall away from the ears, not the mat, fall towards the mat a little bit, and just take some small movement. And what we really want to do is we want to try to emulate the same sort of posture that we would have if we were standing up in these, when we're in a seated position basically, to help support the back and keep our spine happy and healthy. So imagine if you were standing in an upright position, we probably wouldn't be letting our shoulders fall inwards. We wouldn't be letting our chest collapse. We wouldn't be tucking our tailbone under. We would most likely have a nice natural curvature in the lower back and a nice sort of natural rounding in the thoracic spine, and then a lengthening in the back of the neck. So try to imagine you're standing up even. And then from here, what we're going to do is just find somewhere comfortable for the hands and start to soften your gaze a little bit. So it's almost like you're really gently crossing your eyes just until the edges of what you're focusing on begin to blur a little bit. Everything begins to soften. So we'll do that. So we're sort of not quite crossing our eyes. And then just start to focus on a point in your vision where your nose is. So sort of start to look down the end of your nose. And what this is doing is it's sort of just relaxing the eyes. And take a couple of breaths here. Notice where your breath is. And we're using a technique called drishti gaze here, so you might find a specific point and just focus on that. And then we're going to start to do some figure eights with the nose. So you can start off as small or as big as you like. And just start to draw some figure eights in the air with the nose. And play around with making them bigger or smaller. And try and make those loops on your figure of eight as even as possible. So we don't want one side to have a small loop or one side to have a larger loop. We want the curve in the loop of that figure of eight to be the same at the top and the bottom. That's it. And just go with that for a little while. We're going to change sides in a moment. And we'll change sides, so we'll come back in the opposite direction. That takes a little bit of thinking about sometimes. And remember, you still have your eyes blurred here. Well, not blurred, but softened. So we're not actively focusing on anything. We're not actively blurring the eyes either. We're sort of just letting them fall into a soft gaze. We're not closing the eyes. And stay with your breath. You might feel a few little clunky spots, and that's fine. Just noticing where they are. And we'll come back to a neutral position now. Now, with your eyes staying sort of nice and soft, your gaze staying nice and soft, what we're going to do from here is just look out over the left shoulder, but keep your gaze towards the front or out in front of your body. And just look as far as you can, or turn your head as far as you can, until you feel like your gaze or the point you're gazing at softly might be disrupted. And then come back. Turning the head, but letting the eyes maintain that drishti point. Now you're going to notice it's going to probably feel a little bit jagged or a little bit difficult. Your eyes are going to want to follow your nose. And they might want to, your eyes will probably want to sharpen up. They'll probably want to focus and maintain that point, but try not to build any tension. Notice what happens in the back of your neck as you let your eyes soften, or as your eyes continue to soften. That's it. We're just going to do one more on each side. We'll hold for a few moments. So see if you can find a little point there where you're sort of almost sort of stretching that point, where you're looking away, where it will interrupt your drishti point. It would shift your focus. So we're sort of stretching, we're looking out through the corners of the eyes. We're not stretching the neck, but we're gently working the muscles behind the eyes. And we'll move over to the other side here. Make sure to blink. Important not to let your eyes dry out. And just sort of playing with how far you can look to the side while maintaining that drishti point, that focal point, without forcing anything either. Then we're going to come back to a neutral position. Close your eyes softly, bring the hands together and rub the hands. Do you feel the palms warm up, and then place the palms on the eyes here. Put a little bit of pressure through or into the eyes, or gently pressing on the eye sockets. Not too much, just a little bit. Take a couple of breaths here. Release your hands away. Find somewhere comfortable for them. Then gently open your eyes. Let your eyes adjust to the sort of the light. Let the light flood back in, let the eyes adjust. And then we're going to take our next posture here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take a variation on Ardha Matsyendrasana. So we're going to place our right foot over on the other side of the left thigh there. So try not to sort of fall into it too much. If your foot ends up here, or you have to sort of make variations, that's fine. You could even extend this left leg if that makes it easier. If you're sitting in a chair, like a desk chair or something like that, you would probably just be crossing your legs. So whichever variation suits you best. What we want to do here is with our left hand, we're just going to lift our chest and draw our lower ribs in towards the leg here, towards the thigh, to create a nice length in the spine and that nice upward sort of lifting sensation out of the hips. Now, from here what we're going to do is just bring our hand to somewhere comfortable. It might be the floor, it might be just a half bind as you place the back of the hand on the lower back or something like that. And we're just going to gently twist ourselves in. And we're not getting too crazy with this twist. We're not forcing anything. We haven't warmed into the body. We haven't done any sort of working up to this posture. So just make it a nice passive transition. So what we're going to do from here is maintain your gaze just where you had it before. So find that drishti gaze. Soften the gaze a little bit. Good. And then what we're going to do is start to slowly bring your gaze out over your shoulder. And then looking out through the corners of your eyes, just like we did before. So you're looking just a bit further, or you're looking sort of across your plane of vision. Soften the gaze. And instead of finding a drishti point, just notice where your eyes are. Notice out of your peripherals, sort of what angle you're looking at. Notice where you're looking into in terms of your plane of vision. And then what we're going to do is start to really slowly bring the nose and the chin or face back towards the front, but keeping our gaze out through the corners of the eyes. And this can be really tricky. So take your time, take it slow. And then gently start to look towards the front. And close the eyes. And we'll change sides here. You can do this with the eyes closed if you like, as best you can. Bringing yourself into a nice upright position. We're going to gently open the eyes, if you haven't already. And we're going to just gently take this bind, gently take our twist, not getting too crazy with it, staying upright in the posture, looking out over the left shoulder. Now look out through, or look out as far to the left as you can, I suppose, without straining. And then when you're ready, take it slow and start to redirect your nose and your chin back towards the front of the body, but keep your gaze out the corner of the eyes. You might feel it's a little bit jagged, it's a little bit staggered. It's a new movement, a new skill. We're just releasing tension from behind the eyes now. Find yourself back in the center. Bring your gaze back to the center here. And close your eyes for a moment. We're going to do one more. We're going to swap sides. So bring the left foot under, crossing the right leg over the top. And taking your bind. If you haven't already opened your eyes, then open your eyes. Now looking out over the right shoulder. Maybe giving yourself 3 to 5 breaths to make that gentle transition back. Softly looking out, looking through the right or out off the right side of the plane of your vision. And bring your gaze back to the center and closing the eyes. And we'll swap sides. You can open your eyes to swap sides if you like. Take the twist. Set yourself up, looking out off the left shoulder, out through the left plane of your vision, and the corners of the eyes. Find your breath and gently make that transition back. And then release. And we'll cross the legs once more, find a neutral position. Bring hands to heart center. Take a breath in. And a long exhale out through the mouth. Let the shoulders fall away from the ears. Start to rub the hands together here. Got a nice bit of warmth there in the palms of the hands. Close the eyes. And palm the eyes here. Give yourself complete darkness for just 5 or 6 breaths. Let the whole body soften. It's like a little savasana for the eyes. And release. Keep the eyes closed for a moment. And gently open the eyes, let the light flood back in. Take a moment, let yourself adjust. And that is some yoga therapy for your neck and eyes. You can do just about anywhere. I hope you enjoyed it. Take care. Namaste.